is it gonna work if I sit back? I'm gonna kick it. It's gonna get kicked. Ugh. Good enough. Gonna wait a few minutes. Get some peoples on here. Hydrate. Mm-hmm. What's up, Lindsay? Kermode, Vera, what's up? Shalom, y'all. Yeah, there's no pelt, so I was like, well, I'll go live, and then I was catching up on some Torah street preaching videos, and I was like, what's up, man? George, trying to doing? Laura, what's up, y'all? Yeah, so there was no pelt tonight, and I was like, well, let's just get on here and just see if the peoples want to hang out. Yeah, maybe they want to hang out, so I figured we'll just go for it, see what happens. Maybe it'll go crazy tonight. Yep, the fam should be back pretty soon. They're doing training tonight, so they should be done soon. What's up, Lost Light? Christina, what's up? What's up? Yeah, I figured we'll just hang out. What's up, Hominy? Yeah, and then we'll just get into it. We'll see if we can battle the internet or something fun. We'll see if we can find something entertaining to do. You know, I think a lot of the times what happens with us, with the approach that we have about keeping Torah, keeping the commandments, is when Christians hear it, they suddenly think that we're trying to earn our way into heaven. Like you can't do right to get in there. And this is true, right? Like, good people aren't just going to heaven because they're good people. Like, we only go because we have faith, right? The point that I think for us, which gets a little more, it gets a little more complex, is, okay, but because I have faith, I'm going to do these works. Because I have faith, I can submit in the spirit to the law. And a lot of people don't quite understand that, because it might sound, what is that, Roxy? Get it. So it might sound like we're trying to, sorry, I got distracted. Dog, squirrel. It might sound like we're trying to earn our way, but really the difference in the levels of sanctification, when you realize the biblical definition of sin and what lawlessness is, it changes so much dynamics on what our walk looks like, right? And so, like, we're still believers, we're still Christians, right? In the worldly, all the different religions they have out there, we're still Christians, but it's not modern day Christianity, which is just the new version of Judaism. It's the Christ version of Judaism, where they put aside the commandments to their own traditions. Same as the Jews, they put aside the commandments for their own traditions, and it's not quite the same. What's up, JS? And I think it really comes across easily for people, like we're trying to earn our way, or we're trying to, and it's not really it. It's because, I think for most of us, it's because we believe and because we love, we want to please and obey and do as he's shown us that is good for us to do, right? And it's like, any doctrine outside of what the Bible describes as good doctrine isn't isn't real for me, right? And if we take Paul's writings out of context, which is what we were all taught, what's up, Sawson? If we take Paul's writings out of context, which is what most all of us believed, we all believed the context of which it was presented to us in modern day Christianity, and it was, hey, you don't have to do any of this. But that's if Paul was teaching against the word of God at that time, they didn't have a New Testament. If he was teaching against that, he would have been considered a false prophet and got stoned to death. And the Sadducees and the Pharisees were trying to kill him, but it was because he was teaching against their traditions. The same as they were doing with Messiah. And even then, they couldn't come up with one, but because they didn't believe, they accused him of blaspheming. They accused him of all these different things, which is crazy. Hi, Em. We don't do Christmas. That's not a biblical thing we do. We do the biblical feast days and the Sabbaths and stuff like that. It's just not our belief system. What's up, George? So I don't. I didn't know early on. Before I was a believer, Christmas was about getting presents or Santa Claus, which is what it's mostly known for in the world. But the issue with that is you can't take something that's got origins and mimics and pieces of stuff that was in pagan, occult, human sacrifice, like evil satanic stuff. You can't take pieces of that and then wrap it up in a bow and call it Christmas, and it's about Christ now. So even though it's got these things, we're just calling it about Christ. That's not really a biblical thing. And nobody in the Bible celebrates birthdays. You know who did though? So they celebrated the birth of the Messiah, not his annual birthday, because you only see it during his birth when he's born. They knew who he was coming into the world, so that was the celebration. It wasn't an annual celebration, but in Egypt they celebrated birthdays because it was pagan, because it's what they believed. They celebrated Pharaoh's birthday, and so like birthdays in general are not a biblical thing, and I think that if you can find something in the Bible that points you to doing it, then that's one thing. And here's another thing too. As believers, we can't just worship God any way we want, because there's prescriptions on like how he wants to be worshiped, right? And we're supposed to worship him in spirit and in truth. And so in spirit and truth, we can't find anything that ties Jesus' birthday to a certain time of year. It's a guesstimation. So it ends up being just the tradition of men. So this tradition isn't biblical. It's what we've tried to make it biblical. We've tried to make it about something when it's not his actual birthday. And it's I know it's a tough time for people to really understand that. And, if you don't know, you don't know, but that's just not where it's at. Let me catch up. Yeah, exactly. That's a good word, Sawson. Yeah. John got his head lopped off for somebody's birthday present. Yeah, but see, Christmas, what if God said don't worship me in that way? What if the Bible says not to worship me in the way that the world worships me? Because it says that quite a bit. And I guarantee you that Jesus wasn't going to do Christmas and his disciples weren't going to do Christmas, that they weren't having celebrations for his birthday every year. It's not in there. So like, it doesn't matter what what it means to us, because the people in the beginning of the Bible, when Israel, when they came out of Egypt, when Moses helped them come out, right? And the Father made all the miracles happen, and they come out into the wilderness. And Moses goes up on Mount Sinai to talk to God and get the commands, right? And he comes down and he's like, hey, what are you guys doing? And they're worshiping a golden calf. Now, see, their intentions were not bad. They wanted to worship God in the way that they knew. But they still were sinning against God because that's not the way he said to worship him. And so that's a tough one for people to get. You know, it's a really, really tough one. Yeah, and you know, if you look at worshiping idols, and people are like, well, I don't worship the Christmas tree. It's not an idol to me. Yeah, you don't bow down to that tree? How you getting those presents out of there? Just saying. Just saying. Yeah, so you can't make, that's it, Jess. You can't make your own way to worship him. And that's what Christmas is. It's a way that people have created to try to worship him, and it's not biblical. So us making something in a way that we want to worship him, just the Bible shows us a bunch of ways. Just like Easter isn't about the resurrection. Because if it was, where does the bunnies and the Easter eggs at your church come from? It's all pagan fertility god. So like, you gotta be careful with all that stuff. And I know most people, like even me, I that's what I did. I just didn't know any better. That's it. But none of that stuff's biblical. You know what? When they celebrate Jesus on Passover, because he's our Passover lamb. So when you want to do a celebration for him in an appropriate time and in an appropriate way, a memorial Passover, not an actual Passover because there's no temple, but a memorial Passover would be more appropriate. What's up, Nathan? Yeah, if you look into the origins of Christmas on your own research and just don't take any of our advice, just look into it for yourself. You'll see that it's not really a biblical thing. And I don't want to beat you up about it. It's just one of those things where um, it's not in the Bible. It's not biblical. It's kind of a made up tradition, and it's not something I'm going to partake in because the tradition has too many origins that come from stuff that he does not like, and that's just it. Just that simple. Yeah, I don't have a hat on. That's right. I answered this question already. How long did my 4-step take? Took a long time. Just hurry up and do it, man. Make yourself. Yeah, and so like we're not really trying to beat Christians up, and that's not really the point of that. It's just saying like there's there's sanctification levels that you're not going to reach if you subcontract your faith and understanding into Paul's writings, Episcopals, way out of context. What's up, Glenn? We did actually. We got one in the kitchen earlier. I think it was this week. Might have been Monday or Sunday. But my wife was up super early, and sorry about the dogs barking in the background. But my wife was up super early. It was like dark 30 in the morning, and she's out here reading her Bible, and she heard something in the kitchen, and then she saw it, and so she went and got Roxy, and Roxy was trying to get it, and I woke up hearing some kind of ruckus in the kitchen, and it ran underneath the couch in the living room, and I flipped the couch over, and Roxy pounced on it and chomped it up. So yeah, I did it. It's not that celebrating Jesus is bad. It's when and how you're doing it that may be not biblically appropriate. And that's all we're really saying. We're not saying if you do Christmas you're going to hell. What we're saying is that Christmas isn't really the origins of Christmas and how it all came to be. It is all the way a tradition, and it's a tradition that probably does not bring honor to the Messiah. No matter what, no matter how you feel about it, how does he feel about it? So learn the ways that the Bible says to worship him, right? In spirit and in truth. And so there's a lot of stuff in there that you got to look for yourself. I mean, we could tell you all the things, like all the different pagan stuff that comes with it, the winter solstice, like all the different stuff. But unless you actually want to know truth, not ours, right? You want to know truth, you do your own research, you pray about it, because it's not a biblical concept. What's up, Wubby? Yeah, and like that's a big thing on this channel is we're gonna try to base as much of it off the Bible as possible. Most of the Bible that we do, most Christians don't do. Like we keep the Sabbath, we keep the biblical diet, we try to keep the Moedim, the feast days. There's a lot that we do that Christians don't think we have to do. We try to keep the law of Moses, and most Christians believe, like as we did, we believed like, yeah, that was done. We don't have to do that. We don't have to do it, right? And I'll be honest with you, breaking the law that was given to Moses and to Israel is the biblical definition of sin. And I know that sounds crazy, but that's just what the Bible says. And it's not even an Old Testament concept that proves that. It proves that in the New Testament. Multiple spots. The first one you're going to find it is with Jesus himself in Matthew 5. Matthew 5:17 through 19. He tells you that the law is not, he didn't come to do away with the law or the prophets. He says, until heaven and earth pass away, not the smallest mark will be done with until all is complete. And then in 19, he says, whoever then breaks one of the least of these and teaches people to do so, the least of the law, because that's what he's talking about. And if you break or teach people to break them, you'll be called least in the kingdom. But if you do them and teach them, you'll be called great. And so, like, if that's what Jesus himself teaches, and Paul says we uphold the law, like the context of what we were taught, the doctrine's a little bit off in modern day Christianity because there's a lot of concepts that are not quite biblical, that don't line up through and through, right? And I think for most of us that are in the sanctification process we're in now, we have to learn to adjust and how to say, hey, well, like, I know I used to believe that too, but this is the word, right? And a lot of times it's going to fall on deaf ears because he didn't call everybody that's going to run across these videos or that we bump into. He didn't call all of them, right? But the one that he did call and that hears this message and it builds them up and it lifts them up and it does what the shirt says, iron sharpens iron. That's who this is for. It's not for everybody. And it's just the way it is. This isn't for everybody. Like our understanding, although it can be for you, if you're not called, then, you're not called. If you don't do it because you have your own personal conviction to do it, that's it, Yeah, and we don't say that the law is how we get saved. We say the law is how we show that we have faith, that we are saved. And so the reason that we keep the law is because biblically in the New Testament, transgression of the law is what sin is. That's 1 John 3:4. Sin is lawlessness. Well, what law, right? And if you look up all the word lawlessness in the Bible, or transgression of the law, if you look all that up, you'll start digging into a rabbit hole where you'll go, oh, I got it. And then we can also see that Jesus teaches that the law is not done away with. Yeah, definitely not for salvation. Definitely not for salvation. Because I was earlier in the video, I actually clarified all that. We can't earn our way into heaven by keeping the law or being good people. That's not how any of it works. So how we love him, and how we love our neighbors is an overarching of the 10 Commandments. The 10 Commandments are a really brief summary of the Mosaic law, like the law that was given to Moses for Israel. And the law that was given to Israel is in masterly detail on the do's and don'ts as his people, how to operate. They're guardrails so we don't go too far left or too far right. It's that way we don't go way on our own quest to what we think right or righteousness is, because it keeps us narrowed back down. But not like in Judaism. Judaism is like, you're going to keep this law, but if you don't do this way, then you're not doing it right. And that's like not biblical either. And then Christians are like, even if you try to keep it, you're just spitting on the cross. And it's like, whoa, easy there, guys. Easy. Like, how do you love your neighbor when they're yelling at you that you're wrong? It's really tough, and so we're trying not to do the same. We're trying not to yell at our neighbor and say that they're wrong. All we're really trying to do is say, hey, Jesus teaches this, and the disciples show us that, and that we can see all throughout that they're doing the commands and the Moedim and the Sabbaths, but their heart condition is what's right. Not trying to earn it, but turning their hearts, like their intent, what they really mean. They really mean it when they do it, not just doing it to like checklist it, right? And so there's a lot there, dude. I got to catch up on this chat because you guys have been talking a lot and I can't keep up. I'm a slow reader. I'm so slow. Yeah, and in the sharpening, iron sharpens iron. That's not a comfortable thing. There's like friction there. There's friction when we're getting sharpened, and it's uncomfortable. So and I think that like loving your neighbor and loving the Father very vaguely is simple, but because we're human, we're so fallible, and we just like mess it up every time, dude. And we're quick to judge and slow to forgive. Like, we're all the things that we shouldn't be. This is why Paul struggled with it. He's like, I know the things that I should do and I don't do them, but he goes, and I do the things that I know I shouldn't do. It's like he's struggling with his flesh, walking in the spirit, and treating and doing things differently, right? And Paul was like big time into Judaism, so he's trying to give up the man-made law and not the biblical, not the God-given law. And there's like this tearing between him, right? And also projecting the love of Messiah when he's like was persecuting Christians, and he's just like, there's all these angles, right? Oh, 12C's up here. What's up, yo? Yeah, that's the thing about it too, man. It's like I'm not gonna convince you with my words, right? Like, if you see how I live, you would be convinced. What's up, Adam O? Shalom, brother. Adam, what's the name of your knife thing, bro? Because I'm always showing your knife off, and I can never remember it. It's like Brass Monkeys or something like that. No, I'm just kidding. I don't remember what it's called, though, really. Mm-hmm. Iron Tusk Knife Company. So Iron Tusk, bro. I just can't ever remember that, bro. Yeah. So the cool little knife with the blue on it that I got, that's like I can still shave with when I rub it on my pants and hone it up. Yeah, that's Iron Tusk. That's it. That's the one. If you haven't checked him out, you guys should definitely check him out. Also, we're gonna be on tomorrow. I don't know how it's gonna go, but we'll be on tomorrow night too. My wife will be home soon, so she might jump on here, but she's doing jujitsu right now, so she might be kind of cooked too when she gets home. How you doing anyhow, Adam? You doing good, brother? Also, are you going to men's retreat? Hashtag, am I gonna see you soon? Nice. So you can catch yeah, you can catch that one, Iron Tusk Knife Company, on Facebook then if you got the socials. Jennifer Lowe's on here. What's up, yo? Yeah, if you read the Old Testament, you'll understand Jesus basically teaches you everything out of there. Well, and the prophets and the writings. So it's not just the Torah, but a whole bunch of it for sure. No, it's not snowing here. I wish it was snowing here. Sweet. Awesome, brother. Yeah, I'll be there too. Y'all willing. Yeah, I got some stuff to do. Also, I'm gonna try to bring the boat so we can get out there on the water, which would be good for a bunch of us. Where you at, Em? Where's it snowing where you're at? Man, I wish it was snowing. It was like 80 degrees here today. Yeah, it was terrible. 80. I was sweating. It's probably over 80. It was so hot, I was dying, man. And I was wearing like, I was doing a bunch of plumbing underneath Texas T's house, and I freaking had these black latex gloves on. Every time that they'd hit the sun, it just felt like my hands were in an oven. Yeah, bring your rod, bro. Yeah, and it's funny is when yeah, in Second Timothy, when they were writing that, they were talking about the Old Testament and the prophets and the writings. They didn't even have a New Testament. Oh, Texas, huh? Oh, Tejas. I used to live in Texas. I love Texas. Oh, truck's up and running too, by the way, dude. Ezra over there on the Grindstone channel, Ezra came and saved the day, man. Yeah, he hooked the brother up. So he had a bunch of tools that I didn't have. And he'd done it a few times, so he had a lot of experience. And in my mind, I thought I was just going to unbolt a bunch of stuff, but there was a bunch of that there was no way I'd have got it without the heavy duty impacts and stuff that he had, and giant sockets. You know, there was just a bunch of crazy stuff. So super blessed for that one. Truck's up and running. It looks funny because Um, it kind of looks weird. I'll be honest with you because the back wheels are offset wheels and the front wheels are in a little bit, and it kind of looks like a big girl with high heels on. It's kind of weird looking. Um, it's just really strange looking. It's good, Roxy, chill. But I broke one of the rims that were on there, and I got to get a replacement. So, but it's way outside of my budget. What part of Tejas? Like North Texas, South Texas, East Texas, West Texas? Yeah, there is two Georges on here. I'm not really sure about double Georges. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll be honest with you, man. The only reason my truck's as valuable as it is because International made the motor for these things, or at least designed them for Ford. Yeah, the 7.3 Power Stroke's ridiculous. Yeah, I was. What was I doing today? Oh, I had somebody helping me do this plumbing, Josh, and we had to go get some tools because it's whatever day of the year and the stores are all closed. So we had to make what we had work. 6'4". Oh, listen, when they're running, they're great, and then when they're not, they're pretty much exploded. Sorry about the 6'4", bro. I've seen some go a couple 100,000, and I've seen some not really much more than that grenade and have to get head gaskets and heads and yeah, all kinds of stuff. Yeah, love you, Adam. Love you, brother. I'll see you soon, bro. Yeah, Woob. It's the only thing to get. You know what I really want though for the wife is I want the expedition. Yeah, I want the expedition with the 7.3 in it for the wife. That's the only thing. Like, yeah, I'd be so happy, so happy. George, I'm sorry about that, bro. Sell it before it's too late. Excursion? Yeah, that's the one. Not expedition. Excursion. Be cool if I had an expedition though. Not really. Yeah, the excursion, bro. Also, they look sick when they got some big knobbies on them and like the rack on the top and stuff like that. Look like perfect bug out Vic. So what I have right now is I've got two busted trucks in my front yard. The blue Chevy dually. I was gonna try to get it going, but the engine seized up, and I'm sad face because it had a 454 in it, but well, it hydrolocked on fuel, and I'm pretty sure it bent a piston rod and tore up one of the cylinders. So that thing's toast. You know what I was thinking? If I had money, right? If I was dreaming, what I'd like to take is any kind of motor that was carbureted and throw it in that dually. I wouldn't care if it was a Ford going in a Chevy or a Dodge. It would not matter to me. But I'd love to throw something carbureted in there that didn't need computer stuff because the transmission that's in there needs a computer. It needs a bunch of sensors for it to work right. Otherwise, I'd just take the intake off and throw one on there and throw a carburetor on it. But although you can get the motor to run that way, still not going to work. So yeah, the transmission would not go. Yeah, that is a problem, Found Light. Everybody does want those. I got a buddy that's been holding on to one for a long time. That's a little beat up. I might be able to talk him out of it. Yeah, I might be able to talk him out of it. 03 Dirty Max. I like Dirty Maxes. They're fast, dude. That's the thing. I like them. They're fast compared to the Fords. Fords are like slugs. I guess the new 7.3s when they're turned up, they're pretty quick. Or 6.7s, I mean. Oh, 4 miles upstream in a kayak, Saucin. No. Ooh, that's terrible. Yeah, them 6.0s are, that's the motor. If you're going to get a gasser that you want to be like a work truck, the gassers they're something else, bro. 600K on it. How many transmissions and rear ends you been through, though? That's just an honest question, JS. All original? No way. No way. So you're saying you haven't had the motor rebuilt, or the transmission rebuilt, or the valve body rebuilt, or a new torque converter in that transmission? No way. Wow. That's ludicrous, man. You definitely got one built on a Wednesday. And like not just part of it was built on a Wednesday, all of it. Transmission, all the things. Yep. Bless you, bro. That's like exciting. So my truck's manual. And I'll be honest with you, I had dead batteries one time and I got pull started by another truck and I was so pleased that it happened. I was like, yeah, buddy. Because you can't do that with an automatic. And I was way deep in the woods. And not only was I deep in the woods, but the truck that was trying to give me a jump start, it was not helping. It would not go. So it was like the only option. But I think, be honest with you, I think the starter's getting ready to go. Sorry, I'm hopping my legs, so I'm bouncing all around. I think the starter's getting ready to go, which is why it's acting up and it's drawing so bad. Because I hit it with a hammer or something like that, and it's been good ever since. What is it? Built on a Wednesday? So, like, there's a saying, you don't want a vehicle that was built on Monday because everybody comes in with a hangover and they're like, and then Tuesday, they're kind of getting back into the flow, right? But by Wednesday, they should be like fully back into work mode. Thursday, they're like, one more day, one more day. So they're just trying to push through. And Friday, they're just trying to get out of there. So they don't really care. So you want one built on a Wednesday, and that's how that goes. Do I remember being in Idaho? I do. How old am I? I'm freaking super old. In a couple days, I'll be 48. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, Jimmy Carr's gonna be here tomorrow. You guys are gonna enjoy that. I'm gonna have him on the live stream. You guys are gonna be blessed by his presence. He talks a lot. my kind of dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, we can sit here and chat for like ever, just talking about nonsense. Yeah, 65. How hard were you on your body though? Because I put like, I don't know, probably like 400 pounds of methamphetamines, cocaine, and pills, and I don't know how many hundreds of gallons of alcohol through this old body, and car wrecks, motorcycle wrecks, BMX wrecks, bar fights. I got hit by a car twice. Actually, truck. Yeah, I've been beat up, bro. Beat up. That's how I feel, JS. I look good for 48. I look good for 70, but I'm only 48. Yeah. Right on, George. Hmm. Well, what y'all want to talk about? We got 24 people on here. I still got 40% battery. Trying and doing, you're the sweetest lady that's like ever on my channel though. So I don't care what you look like. You could look like something off a scary movie and I'd still hug the shit out of you if I seen you. Sorry, I'm trying to read something out of Titus, so we got something to springboard off of. Man, I'm about to turn this light on right here. Oh, you're gonna see me. Oh, there I am. Jeez, that thing's bright, bro. Hold on, please. Put your hands up. Do you have any weapons on you? Show me your hands. Turn around. Lace your fingers behind your head and walk backwards to the sound of my voice. Sorry. Dude, it's too much for me. I need my rib here to read this stuff. Let's talk about why honey roasted peanuts are That's it, trying and doing. That's all what any of us can do. I turned this light on like it was going to help me read better, but I just don't read good, so that's like a thing. Oh, trippy. I opened this up to Yirmiyahu, which is Jeremiah, 31. Just happened to. It's a trip. Just a trip. Hey, have you guys noticed that the stars are like very vivid lately, and that the constellations are like really standing out? I don't know if you guys have been outside at night, but go outside, take a look. It's been really trippy how bright the stars are. And I met a really cool dude named Adam, and he's like, yeah, like, he goes, you know a lot about the stars? And he asked me something about the stars, and I was like, nah, man, not really. Um, and and I said, well, like, that's the Big Dipper and this and that. And he goes, actually, that's not the Big Dipper. That's Orion's Belt. That's Pleiades. This is this. He starts showing me all these different things. And then he goes, yeah, off of this one and this one, you can like do the clockwork and like you'll know like what season you're in just by where they're sitting. And I'm like, and he just pulled his phone out and busted out this little app and like, he goes, let me check really quick. And then he puts it up there and everything he said was like spot on the thing. I was like, whatever, man. I need those skills. What? Go along with the Sunday law coming. No, we can't see them. What Sunday law is coming? Yeah, but what is it about? Like, I haven't heard about it, so I'm just interested. What's up, Tristan Davis? Kobe, or whatever you want to put your name on. What's up, Tristan? What's up, bro? Sorry, I'm awfully bouncy with my leg right now. Oh, I'm beat up, man. I worked out with Dudley last night and Kelt and climbing underneath the house. Ugh. Yeah, kicking my butt. Yeah, Lisa, I don't know. Did I miss some context on there, Lisa? Yeah, you're like saying something about going along with the Sunday law coming. I don't know what it is. Worship on Sunday. I don't know anything about it, never heard of it. So no, I don't worship on Sunday. Okay. Charles. I don't know, man. My brain's not working. So if I know you, I apologize. I can't think of it. Yeah. No idea about any Sunday worship. I'm definitely not worshiping anything on Sunday. Yeah, and they ain't gonna make me do shizzle. Yeah, I probably won't look it up, but if it comes across my feed, Agenda 2025, I'll maybe click on it for a second. But there's so much propaganda out there that I just can't. There's so much AI propaganda nowadays too. It's so bad. It's like if there's not a face on there, like a human talking, then I'm pretty much not doing it. Not even like a fake human AI. I'm talking like an actual human that's fallible, that's got like a mole on their face or something ugly. You know, like I'm just not doing it. Check it out. It's why they killed Charlie Kirk. Mm. Mm-hmm. You know what, Tristan, bro? Here, I gotta do you a solid. I'm gonna put Tristan in timeout. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, there you go, Tristan. Go ahead and make a little comment, and you're gonna see the newest member of the Blue Wrench. The newest member of the Blue Wrench gang. Blue Wrench Mafia. Yeah. We got to come up with some cool designs, man. Yeah, I need to make some shirts before the ruckus, but it's probably not going to happen because I'd be broke. We'll see what happens. There you go, bro. See, got that wrench. Tristan's in timeout again. Mm-hmm. Yep, nice beard game for sure. Saucing. Hella funny, bro. Uh, mm-hmm. Nice. All right. Well, what should we do, man? What do I watch? I watch all kinds of nonsense on Netflix. NCIS. It's a good sleepy time one. I think we're going back through The Walking Dead, Grey's Anatomy, just nonsense. I like The Walking Dead though. Kind of reminds me of like what it's like when there's no law and there's monsters out there trying to kill everybody and how desperate people get. Nah, I can't. I couldn't get into the 100. It's not my jam. Bro, I can't read. That's the thing. If I try to start reading, I fumble so hard. You should have seen me on Shabbat. Was it this week or last week? T's like, go ahead, take it, Joe. And I start fumbling through, bro. And I'm like, I made it like a verse and a half. And he just started reading because it was so bad. Because I'm fumbling through trying to like sound out the words. And like my brain, the wires are crossed. So like I can't get reading the word to make sense so that I can read it appropriately to where it sounds right. So it's just a learning disability. Ain't the end of the world. I've got some stuff memorized that I can read you guys, but that's it. It's only because I got it memorized that it sounds like I can read. Let's do scenarios. Ooh, that's a good one. What do you do first? You stop traffic and you make sure that you got somebody else flagging traffic and stopping traffic. Then you're going to get the dude off the exits in the middle of the road. I mean, if he's closest, otherwise, maybe the car. You know, I would drag him off the side of the road if he's bleeding out. And do a tourniquet. But it's like, you know, who's in the car? How bad is the car on fire? You know, is there anybody else with me? Because if there is, I'm going to have somebody else go pull people out of that car, or I'm going to put a tourniquet on this dude, or whatever, you know. Yeah, it just depends. It's too hard to have enough context on your guys' end for this game. Nice. Jeremiah's a dope name. What's up, Humblebee? Yeah, that's the thing. It's like without my rib here to read, it's kind of boo boo, which is why I always have her read. And she hates it sometimes. She's like, I don't want to have to read for you again. But like she can speed read, dude. She can read faster than her mouth can get the words out, like way faster. She can like speed read through the chapter in just like a couple minutes, um, and grasp most of everything that's in there. Her and TJ Bear and the Pennant, same thing. They can just rip through chapters. I don't read like that because my brain don't comprehend. I could probably read a sentence and maybe understand what it was trying to say, but it's not going to make the second sentence make sense with it. So all of my like today, I was going through Luke today. Um, it's like, oh, it's been a while since I've done Luke, so I just put Luke on, and I got through I think 7 or 9 chapters of Luke audio. But I got distracted on some of it because I had somebody ride with me at one point and we started yapping up a little bit and I left it playing in the background. So, but yeah. Yeah, she is a trip, bro. Yeah, I count my fingers at the spelling test too, for sure. Beartron Actual, what's up, yo? See, I'm not the call 911 dude. I'm like, make somebody call 911 dude. I'm like to go do the things because I'm not afraid of fire and I'm not afraid of being in the road. And I'm not afraid of blood and guts. Uh, so, like, yeah, I'm just going to go do. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, dude. I'll be honest with you, man. I'm lacking a fire extinguisher in the whip. I probably should have one of those on all the cars, but I guess I never think about that stuff. And it's not even necessarily that I think our cars are going to catch on fire. I just don't think about it really much. Because like a house is maybe harder to get out when it's on fire. Cars catch on fire like that, especially gasoline cars. They go quick. But I still never felt like I couldn't get out. We always EDC knives, but even then, you never know. You get pinched, or knife's not, something happened, it's on fire, you're stuck, the belt won't come off. What are you gonna do, you know? Well, I'm gonna throw the seat back and crawl from underneath that belt and bust the window out if I have to. But, you know, it's whatever. What's up, Red? Dude, you guys, I don't most of you guys were here last week when we were doing movie quotes. That shit was so funny. I was dying. I was dying. It was so funny. Like all the one, I could just see your little faces, all of them saying all the little quotes. I was like, these are my people. Yeah, it was super funny. What's up, man? I don't know how to pronounce your name, but I see you with the Asian writing in there somehow. Yeah. Yeah, it was super fun. Also, I was really impressed on how many movies I haven't seen that you guys quoted. Oh no, she's trying to start again. Yeah, Jennifer Lowe. Oh, yeah, dude. First Blood, obviously. Ooh, gotta go, guys, because I hear some stuff outside. I hear some stuff outside, and I don't like it. But I heard there was going to be some dudes out pig hunting tonight. Not over here though, homie. Your shit will get smoked. Numachian. Okay. I said the best I can. I don't know if I got him. Red, don't get me going, bro. Don't get me going. Nah, I heard a gunshot out there, so and it sounded like it sounded not super close, but close enough where I could hear it. I did it. Yay. I still ain't gonna remember that shit though. 5 minutes. Numa Chien. Yeah. Yeah. Just gone. If it was a number, I got you. So it was like 8675309. Yeah. 5. Damn it. Just proved myself wrong. Call back up. I don't need to. Not for this. Not for one shot. If it was like fully auto or a bunch of shots and they were close, or I could hear shit hitting the house. Bloop. Bye-bye, phone. You know what we're doing. Yep, I'm on the radio. I'm on all the comms. We're doing the things. Putting Roxy's battle chest rig on. She's going to be ready to go. Yeah, it's on like Donkey Kong. All right, what do we got here? Mm-hmm. George, we don't do Christmas, homie. That's not what we do on this channel. Bro, honestly, Tristan, this year flew by, bro. Super fast. It's going so fast, I ain't even had time to catch up with it yet. I'm just maybe now slowing down enough to do that. Yep, just another Thursday. I ain't getting shot at though, bro, so I'm not even tripping on it. It's not even a big deal anymore. And even then, I didn't trip when I was getting shot. I just moved. Well, I appreciate you. Yeah, it has been a long time since you've been on here. I seen you on TJ's on Bear Independence, though. What's up, Justin? My dude. Hey, just in case you guys didn't know, Justin Ridland's the real deal. He's a real dude, the real big heart. That's a well-trusted brother. Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I don't really have no neighbors here. And the neighbors that I do got are far away. Closest one is a half mile that way. And they're pretty quiet. Unless it's the summertime and they're having like a pool party. But they're not into, they're like into big eyelashes and, you know, drinking and techno music and shit. I don't have to worry about those guys. They're not retarded enough to come down here. But neighbors that way, it's more than a half mile. And then, you know, my dudes, it's a little bit closer. What's up, Okie? My dude. Okie, how come your handle's different, bro? Yeah, because it says like KF, whatever, CZC. Yeah, I don't know what all that is. Yeah, I'll be at ATS for show, for shizzle. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, we'd be doing Bible verses for sure. You got something for me? Ask me a question. Yeah, go back in there and switch it up, bro. Just go on your channel thing and then click on your name and it'll give you the little pencil thing. Click on that and then change it back. Yeah, I seen a bunch of people's stuff that did that. Weird, bro. Weird. I like Okie Storm Chaser, man. That's my favorite. Well, now what? Now what? You were in South Africa and now it's good to be home? Well, that's cool. I would like to go to Africa. There's a bunch of places I want to go check out. All kind of places. Be honest with you guys, I want to go back. I want to go to Israel and see a bunch of stuff that I haven't got to see. Would you want the opportunity to just like go up on the mountain where Moses was talking to Yah? Bro. There it is. You got it. That's it. You got it, bro. You got it. Dope. That's my dude. Okie's back. That's right. Yeah, for sure. When the highway appears during the second Exodus, yeah, I'm kind of waiting for that myself too, bro. But I know we got a long ways to go before we get there. I think America's going to be probably one of the most dangerous places on the planet, dude, when it finally falls. Because there's so many guns here, man. It's going to be like the Wild West times 100. Yep. Yeah. How do you move hogs? Well, gloves and heavy equipment. We try not to move them though. I mean, if that one gets shot in your yard and you got to move it and you ain't got a tractor, then yeah, you're gonna have to put some gloves on, or put some gloves on and put it on a tarp and drag it. You know what I mean? Whatever you got to do. Well, I don't know. They're big too. Some of them are big. Some of them are not that big. But if I could help it, I'd burn it right where it stayed.